Please don't forget subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified of new daily videos.
I used to love the night shift. Not just tolerate it, but genuinely love it. The quiet hum of the servers, the isolation, the almost meditative rhythm of monitoring green text on black screens. My name is Bryan, and for the past 2 years, I've been the sole night technician at the Ridgway Data Vault. It's a sprawling, windowless fortress of processing power out in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by nothing but pine forests and endless sky. Peaceful, right? It was. Until about 2 weeks ago. It started subtly. I was doing my routine server checks, bending low to examine a blinking error light on rack 17B as I leaned in. My head bumped against a sharp edge of the metal housing. A jolt of searing pain, a metallic tang in my mouth, I instinctively recoiled, hand flying to my forehead, expecting to feel a gash, warm blood. But there was nothing. My skin was smooth, intact. No cut, no pain beyond a phantom ache that vanished the moment I focused on it. I rubbed my temple, chalking it up to fatigue and a vivid imagination. Then, a few nights later, it happened again, more aggressively. I was in the small break room making my second pot of coffee. Reaching for my favorite mug, my foot slipped on something, a drop of water, maybe, and I pitched forward. The boiling water from the kettle sloshed over my right hand. I screamed, the pain instant and horrifying. My skin blistered immediately, an angry red blooming across my fingers and palm. I dropped the kettle, clutching my hand, tears blurring my vision. The smell of burnt flesh hit me, sickeningly sweet. And then, suddenly, I was standing perfectly still beside the coffee machine, my hand dry, unharmed, holding the empty kettle, the water still patiently boiling inside. The mug was back on the counter, untouched. My breath hitched. The phantom heat on my right palm was undeniable, a ghostly echo of the scalding pain. My heart hammered against my ribs. I stared at my hand, flexing my fingers, utterly bewildered. It was as if the last 10 seconds, the agonizing burn, had never happened. But I remembered it. I felt it. From that night on, the glitches escalated. Minor at first, like finding my security badge on the wrong lanyard after swearing I left it on the correct one, or reviewing footage only to find myself doing a task I distinctly remembered doing 5 minutes prior. But then the physical manifestations started again. I'd be walking down a corridor, feel a sudden sharp pressure on my ankle like I'd twisted it badly, followed by a dizzying lurch, only to find myself perfectly upright, walking normally, but with a faint, throbbing ache where the phantom injury had been. I kept checking my body for bruises, for scars, for anything concrete. Sometimes the faintest discoloration, a pale blue under the skin, would emerge, only to fade completely by morning. Sleep became a luxury I couldn't afford. Every time I closed my eyes in the staff sleeping quarters, I feared I'd wake up somewhere else, or worse, not wake up at all. My colleague, Terry, on the morning shift, started asking if I was all right. "You look like you've seen a ghost, Bryan," he'd said, eyeing the dark circles under my eyes. Even my manager, Reginald, commented on my focus during a recent performance review. I couldn't tell them. Who would believe me? Last night was the worst. I was deep into my rounds, checking environmental controls in Sector Gamma, one of the oldest and deepest parts of the vault. The air always felt colder down there, the hum of the old mainframes a deeper, more resonant thrum. Suddenly, the emergency lights flickered on, plunging the entire facility into a reddish gloom. The humming died, replaced by a low, guttural growl that seemed to vibrate through the very floor beneath my feet. Panic seized me. I grabbed my flashlight, its beam cutting through the gloom. From the main server hall, a deafening screech tore through the silence, followed by a cacophony of distorted electronic wails and what sounded like tearing metal. I ran, adrenaline pumping, my heart threatening to burst. The main hall was a nightmare. Sparks flew like malevolent fireflies, servers smoked, their screens flashing indecipherable, terrifying symbols, fractured images, garbled code, then faces, screaming faces, distorted and alien. In the center of the hall, where the oldest, largest server arrays stood, something was coalescing. It was a shifting, dark mass, pulsating with internal light and shadow, absorbing the emergency glow. It was vast, impossibly vast, a tangled knot of wires and static, radiating an intense, bone-chilling cold that made my teeth ache. As it grew, expanding, distorting the very air around it, I felt a crushing pressure. It was like an invisible hand squeezing my chest, pressing me against a cold metal wall. My vision blurred, spots danced before my eyes. A sharp, agonizing pain erupted in my ribs. I heard a distinct crack. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. My lungs burned, air refusing to enter. The dark shape loomed over me, tendrils of static and distorted light reaching out, probing, entering me. I felt a cold, alien presence inside my mind, rifling through my memories, replaying fears, then a sharp, violent snap. I gasped, sitting bolt upright in my chair at the main console. The facility was perfectly normal. The lights were on, the servers hummed their familiar, monotonous tune. No sparks, no smoke, no terrifying entity. Terry stood over me, looking concerned. "Hey, Bryan, you all right? Rough night, huh? You look like you've seen a ghost." I stared at him, my breath ragged. "Yeah," I managed, my voice a croak. "Something like that." I checked myself immediately. No broken ribs, no crushing pain. But my chest ached with a deep, phantom soreness, and just under the skin on my left side, where I'd felt the impact, a faint, swirling bruise was beginning to form. It wasn't visible unless I really looked, tracing the nascent discoloration with a trembling finger. It wasn't a dream. It wasn't a nightmare. I felt it. The pain, the cold, the terror, it was all real. And now, the lingering bruise, a physical echo of a reality that didn't happen. I think something in this data center is glitching my reality, resetting me, maybe even feeding on my fear. And I don't know how many more times I can be reset before I don't come back. I just clocked out. My chest still aches. I'm afraid to come back tomorrow. I'm afraid not to.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button to like it. And please do subscribe to support the channel.